On your mark, get set. And we are going to be live. Go for it, Don.
We're live. We're live. Welcome, everybody, to BricsCAD Unplugged, Season 2, Episode 7. Matt, I cannot believe we are in Season 2 at Episode 7. Now, I haven't made every one of these. Matt has. I think Vince has made most all of them, and Heidi too. So, guys, it's amazing. It's great to be. Happy 2019, everybody. Happy New Year. Amazing year at BricsCAD. Just we killed it. We blew it out. Thanks to all of you. I mean, wow, we're so excited, and we've got a great new product in V19. Heidi's actually going to do some demo things for us today of some of the more advanced drafting tools that are in the product. But first, I want everybody to introduce themselves. The guy in the apron.
Yeah. I got to show off the apron real fast.
Woo-hoo!
So Christmas present from my neighbor. I'll model it. I didn't realize it until after I opened the present. I looked down. My wife goes, "Do you know what that logo is?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's the BricsCAD logo in a hexagon." And yeah, so
Totally unauthorized use of our logo type.
So I got it a little dirty. I was cooking in it already. So, but yeah, so it's my Christmas gift from my retired neighbor.
Awesome.
You got great neighbors,
Call the
Matt.
logo, please.
So, and I'm Matt, by the way.
And I'm Heidi Hewitt, and I will be doing a quick demo today of
Awesome.
BricsCAD.
And I'm Vince. I'm along for the ride, part of the sales team, and once in a while I get caught doing technical things, which
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to, but I
We
still
catch
do it
him
anyway.
occasionally. He's not supposed to, but he's pretty good at it, so we just let him do it. It's okay.
Yeah. By the way, this year we're going to go back to, we're looking for comments. If you guys want a free mug, we're going to be giving away mugs this year again.
Yeah.
Matt, yours is
I want
empty.
a backwards mug like Vince's.
His camera's back. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So post your comments,
Weird.
folks. And, we'll send you a coffee mug.
Yeah, so say that one more time, Matt, because I was babbling or something. How do people get a mug? How do they win a mug? What do they need to do to win a BricsCAD mug?
So up on Facebook or up on YouTube, add comments. You know, if you have the best comment for this week's show, we'll send you a coffee mug. I'll contact you and get your address and all that stuff. But yeah, so it's all about comments. And so post those up there on Facebook or on YouTube.
Who's the judge for the best comment? Is that you?
Well, Vince and I have
can
been doing it, but you can participate if you want to.
I'm just thinking.
Okay.
I see this Joe Rogan thing coming, but that's okay. Whatever. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. So, Matt, tell us about the work you guys have been doing with the Help Center, because it's looking amazing. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm sharing with my desktop here. So if you haven't been yet, folks, go to our Help Center. And to get there, it's simple and easy. Go to BricsCAD.com, okay? And then once you go there, hit the Help Support button, and you get to our new Help Center site. And right here, simple, easy things to do. Like if you want to know what the copy command is, or you want to know how to copy something inside of BricsCAD, you just type in the word copy, and look, you get a list of different options right here, but I'm just going to pick the first one. And in here, here's the copy command. Tells you how to access it, the command options, you know, all the different options that you have, procedures, and also two related commands to the copy command. Okay, so that, you know, just a simple demonstration of how to use our online help system. Take advantage of it, because we're sticking everything in there to all our resources to get information. But the neat thing is I want to show you off, and I'm going to scroll, and I know Don hates it when I scroll.
Oh, this is
I'm
really
going to go really slow.
Dude, it's amazing.
But up here, we have two great PDF files for you guys to download. One is Graf Gamalski's book, on BricsCAD for AutoCAD users. So download this. It's updated for version 19, okay? And take advantage of that. And then the other one it's been requested from our customers out there and some of our partners, is if you go down to the very bottom, it says download offline version of the Help Center. Click onto that. We only have it in English. It's a PDF file of all the help information. So everything inside of BricsCAD is right here in this PDF file.
Wait, look at that number.
If you can see the number,
472.
That's a lot of pages.
I can't read all that. Oh, there's an index. Look at
So we had customers requesting it. So if you just go through here, it's all hot linked to. So if I go to like interface and keyboard shortcuts, you could see all the shortcuts right here. And then also to extra hotkeys inside of here that you could take yourself to go see. But basically, we created this for our end users. So take advantage of it. If you want to go download it, that's where it is. It's up on the Help Center, our full documentation PDF file of the Help Center. So, but also to take advantage of Help Center just as that. I like the new online version the best to get at your information though.
Well,
if you want the PDF,
it does, right? By having it online, it means that we can release updated help content every day, right? Which is great. Now, there has been a call for better help integration in BricsCAD, and that's something that Heidi and the team are working on for a future release of B19, right? So we thought it was more important, at least in this time frame, to give you guys a great search engine, and that's what you have in the online help center. Yeah. And Matt and Louis and the guys, Ralph, have been working hard to get great content up there for you. So use it, because it's really smart.
And having it downloadable, I think, is great, because I know I've been caught on an airplane before and wanted to look something up and didn't have access. So everybody download it now while you're online, so you have it when you need it.
Yeah. So download the Help Center. Yeah, lots of documentation there.
Cool.
Well,
good work, man.
I'm going to stop sharing, and we're gonna pass it to Heidi, aren't we?
Yep. Okay. Great.
Heidi, what are you going to show us off today?
Let's see. Let me go ahead and share and move my window out of the way. Okay. So hopefully you're able to see my screen. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to take you through a few of my, some of the really neat, my favorite features just for everyday drafting or modeling. And I know, Don, earlier in the session, you mentioned that I would be showing some of the advanced features. And I actually don't even think of these as advanced. They're so easy to use, but they're things that you would be doing every day, drafting and modeling. For example, our nearest distance tool. What I'm going to do here, I've got this floor plan. Let me zoom out. You can see that floor plan. What I'm going to do is just select a couple objects, and I want to move the sink. Now, I just placed the sink as a block, and I know I wanted a sink in here in this layout, but I didn't really pay attention to where it was or how it related to the other geometry. I just put it somewhere in the approximate area. Well, if you did this typically, you would have to kind of have some various sort of weird workflows to get it positioned exactly where you want, if you want it to be precise. With nearest distance, what I can do is actually select objects. I'm going to select this polyline here that represents the end of the cabinet, the edges of the cabinet, and I'm going to select the block. Now, as soon as I do that, BricsCAD automatically displays the nearest distance, the shortest distance between those two objects. Not only does it display what that distance is, but I can actually click in that and enter a value. So maybe I want the sink to be 1 inch from the edge of that counter. I can go ahead and type that, and it moves that sink. Now notice what it's doing is it's actually moving the second object. So I'm picking two objects, and it's moving the second one. Mm-hmm. If I come over here, I'm going to hold down the control key. So instead of selecting the entire polyline, in which case it would find the nearest distance, which is always up here, I'm going to hold down the control key, so I only get one sub-entity, just that one segment of the polyline. And then I'll go ahead and select that sink again, and now you see that it gives me that distance because it's only looking at that first sub-entity. And again, I'll change that value. I'll say maybe 30. So this is a way that you can really, just be creative, put things in where you think you might want them, and then be precise later as your design evolves. And it's not just for moving objects. That's what I did here. I moved the sink. But remember, again, this brown polyline, that's actually a polyline, one entity. if I come over here and select this blue line first, this blue polyline, and then select the, actually I'll just select the segment of it, and then select the brown polyline. Again, it's selecting just those two sub-entities, and it displays the distance between them. Now, when I change this value, it actually modified that polyline. So you can edit geometry as well, not just move it, but you can edit the shape of it. Okay, and not only does it work in, well, let me just show you another example real quick here. Something very simple that you might not really think about, but you do every day. Something like drawing a rectangle. In BricsCAD and other CAD applications, that's just a closed polyline. And if you want to edit it, maybe I didn't know how big I wanted this coffee table to be initially. If you want to edit that in the future, it can be cumbersome for such a simple object. It can be cumbersome to change what those dimensions are, the size of it. But again, using nearest distance, I can just use the control key, pick two opposite edges, and then give it a value. So it automatically updates that geometry. It's a very simple example, but something I could see you doing multiple times. All right, that was 2D, but this works just as well in 3D. And that's what's really cool about some of the tools, what I'm showing you today, is that they apply to both 2D and 3D. Here I have a model of that same kitchen, and you can see I've got the kitchen counter and the cabinet there. Now, I can modify the geometry in 3D. I'm going to hold down the control key and just pick opposite sides of this countertop. Okay, now actually let me pick this one first, because again, it depends which one I pick first. If I pick that face first, come over here and pick this face, that first face I picked is going to remain where it is, and any changes I make to the distance between them is going to move the second face that I selected. So I'll just change that to some bigger value. Okay, so it works just
so cool.
the same.
Yeah.
Intuitive. You don't need to even look up the help system. As much as we love the help system, you don't need to type anything up there.
Matt, we're putting you out of a job.
Yeah, there you go.
I can go back to cooking.
Perfect.
So just another example, that was one entity where I selected opposing faces there, but I can do the same thing with multiple entities with two different objects. So here I'll select a face on the counter and then a face on the cabinet. And again, the first face that I selected will remain where it is. I'll change the value there, and it actually modifies that 3D geometry of the second entity that I selected.
So Heidi, I said this was advanced. I mean, it's not advanced in terms of what you're doing, but it's advanced in terms of user experience, because I don't know if the other CAD systems do this. I don't think so.
I have not seen it, and it's certainly the technology and the development that went into it, that's advanced, but what you need to know to do it, so simple. Really.
I'm just thinking about all the times I had to put in a dimension or get a distance and get out the calculator and figure out how far I wanted to move something. How much time that took.
Dot X of, endpoint of, it's like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Dot XY or whatever.
Oh, and then I used the X instead of the Y value, and I had to do it again.
Which way is it?
That is so cool.
Yeah, really easy. And you know, as I was selecting those, you could see that it's almost like an inquiry command because it's giving us the distance, but it's so much more than that because we're actually able to edit it. But if you want to turn it off for some reason, and I can't say, I haven't found any reason that I've wanted to turn off nearest distance, but it is here. It's turned on by turned on by default, but you can just click it off if you want, and then it won't display that nearest distance. But it's on by default, and so far I haven't had any reason to turn it off. Okay, so that was one. Let me show you another really cool, simple feature that's advanced as far as what it does, but simple to use. And that is the adaptive grid.
Oh, yeah.
So here I'm in the same floor plan. I'm going to zoom into another part of it. And if you draw something in BricsCAD now in V19, I'm going to just start drawing. And as I pick a point, I'm drawing a circle for a round coffee table here. I pick a point and I start dragging. Notice what's happening with my units there. Do you see the units changing?
Yeah.
So it's giving me, it looks like one increment as I drag it in and out. It's incrementing by 1 unit. But if I zoom in, I'll zoom in really far, and you can see that that increment is changing. Now it's going to 2 decimal places for that increment. If I zoom out, it's a lot larger. So it's adapting to whatever the zoom level is, so that it really minimizes the need to have to enter values. If I knew I wanted this table to be, say, 14 units wide, I could, of course, drag it out and type 14. But because it's adapting to my zoom level, and I'm probably zoomed in or out depending on how big or how detailed that entity is that I'm creating or editing, I can actually just do this without necessarily even having to type. If I know I want it to be 14, I'm zoomed at an appropriate level, I can just pick my value. Now, the other thing that this does, I'll go ahead and select this circle, and if you look at the properties over here on the right side, this really eliminates all those crazy values that we have when we draw, where we have 8 decimal places of accuracy all the way out there with some crazy numbers. You can, of course, still do that if you want to. There's actually a system variable where you can turn it off if you want to display that. But again, this is one of those tools where I've just had it on and I don't even really think about it. I just draw, because typically you do want to draw at some specific increment, even if it's, 1/8 of an inch or 0.1 decimal places or whatever it is. So if you just have that on and draw this whole floor plan, if you actually look at it and you look at the various values here, you'll see I just selected some random line, and you can see I don't have all those crazy decimal places out there of accuracy, because I just drew this the way I normally would, but I had this adaptive grid turned on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, it applies in 2D as well as 3D. So if I go in here to 3D, I'm going to just come in here to this model, and I'll just start drawing a box. And I'm just going to come up to the face here. And again, I could be doing some conceptual design. I don't really know a lot about the exact values, but why would I want them to be out 8 decimal places, right? I just draw some approximate shape and size that I want, and I'm able to do that and know that these are pretty accurate values, not some crazy decimal places.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Heidi's a geek because she displays 8 decimal places just to make sure that there's no rounding error.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, you know me too well, Don.
Yes.
That's true. Now, a couple more things, and I know I'm going a little bit over time, but
Cool.
I want to show you this adaptive grid. It doesn't just apply to drawing or editing, grip editing like I showed you. It also, we have this new nudge functionality in BricsCAD V19. So for example, I can just select an object in 2D or 3D. I'm going to do it in 3D right here. I'm just going to select this edge right there. You can see it selected. Now using nudge, it's not actually the name of a command. It's just me using the control or shift key and the arrow keys. I'm holding down, with that edge selected, I'm holding down the control key and pushing the right arrow key, or the left arrow key, or even the up and down. And yeah, so this is a nudge, and it works again 2D and 3D, and it lets you just nudge it over. And adaptive grid applies to that as well. So if I'm nudging some increment, it's not just doing some crazy random value out to 8 decimal places. It's doing it based on your zoom level. And the same thing, again, 2D or 3D, is if you use the manipulator. So I'll just select one of these objects, and using the manipulator, if I say I want to move that table over to the left, for example, I click the arrow, notice that it's got this increment displayed there. Okay, and as I zoom in, I can go to more detail. As I zoom out, it's got higher increments. Okay, so really cool adaptive grid. It applies to nudge, it applies to grip editing, to creating geometry, and to the manipulator.
But wait, Heidi, there's no innovation left in 2D drafting.
That's what I would probably think, but I know our development team, and I'm sure they'll just impress us again next year with something.
Oh my God, yeah, guys, and things like Blockify, I mean, some of these tools are so amazing, and you really, if you haven't tried V19 yet, what are you waiting for? You get to use it for 30 days for free. I mean, just give it a try. You'll be so excited, you'll want to buy many, and that'll make Vince happy.
Yeah. And to me, Heidi, it's like the ease of use. It's like, I know we all been around for a while using CAD systems, but it's just like how CAD systems, especially with BricsCAD, it's getting easier to use. It's not getting complicated. It's like we were talking about earlier, X, Y, Z, what, it's just like, yeah, the ease of use is wonderful.
And, yeah, I agree. And some of them are accessing them are so subtle. So if you've been using another CAD system for a long time, you would not even think to select 2 objects and look at that dimension that's displayed there. So, I mean, they're so easy. They don't take explanation, but I'm really happy we've got people watching us on these webcasts and looking at our content so that they know it exists. Easy that you want to know it's there, right?
Yeah.
I like
I don't know about you. I wish I had Heidi let you have more time and we make some popcorn and we just sit here and eat popcorn.
Next week, popcorn.
All this talk about food and your apron is really making me.
That's right.
Lunch yet?
Well, cool. Well, hey.
Vince had something he was going to say. What were you going to say?
You know, I look at what I keep thinking about as I see these things is the fact that, you know, I've seen so many drawings that have so many inaccuracies from CAD users that aren't really, they don't use those snaps properly, or they don't do certain, you know, basic things. And I look at, you know, this is so subtle, but if you think about it, the quality of the drawings that we're going to get when people start using V19 are going to eliminate a lot of those CAD management issues that we have to deal with drawings that are, well, called done in a sloppy manner, right? So these things are pretty exciting when you start thinking about what's going to happen with the quality of your drawings moving forward with just these really subtle little tools.
And speed.
That's a really good point.
Performance. I mean, you know, the fact that you don't have to go back and fix things. You don't have to worry about, oh, why does the hatch spill out of this thing? Because
tiny little gap.
There's a gap. It's in the 8th decimal place, Heidi.
And we've had to find those. We've had to find those how many times?
No,
It's never happened to me, but I've seen it happen to other people using other CAD systems. Hatch all the way over there for it. Yeah.
Hasn't happened to me in the last 6 months.
Woo-hoo! Welcome to Texas, Heidi.
Yeah.
Wow. Guys, this is amazing. So not only adding advanced functionality using machine learning and all kinds of cool things, we could go on for a long time about that, but just using these types of technologies in 2D to make it easier to create drawings. I mean, some people never leave the 2D space, and that's totally fine with us. If you're happy there, if you can do your stuff, if you can document your designs and make things and only work in 2D, why shouldn't we work on making it easier for you too, right? Because the faster you get the drawing done, the faster you get it made, and the faster you get it out to the world, and that's what we all want anyway, right?
And
so
what I really love about some of these tools, everything I showed you today with manipulator, nudge, adaptive grid, nearest distance, all of those work the same in 2D and 3D. And that's what's really cool is we know, like you said, there's so many people working on 2D, but you get used to these in 2D and it will just be a no-brainer to go into 3D and use them there as well.
That's great.
I love that trick you did with that box on the side of the condo when you just selected the edge and then nudged it. I mean, you're basically deforming that shape using the cursor keys. It's like, what is this? You know, it may be a discoverability problem. Matt, we do have a job for you in the help system.
Yes, I'm still employed.
If you discover it, you're going to go, how did I ever live without that, man? That's really, really cool stuff.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, with over probably 900 commands, it's just like, and all the variables, it's like, yeah, a lot of documentation to keep track of and stuff.
Yeah, but the cool part is, and I think this is something Heidi and the team are really looking forward to for future releases of V19 and V20 and 21. I mean, how can you reduce the number of commands that you actually need so that you're not thinking about commands, you're thinking about what you're actually trying to create.
Yeah.
The commands, they're there, but do you need to know them? Do you need to type them in? No.
Yeah, you're right. And some of them aren't even really commands. Like, I don't know if nearest distance, I mean, it's either on or off, but you don't launch a command.
Right.
Same with adaptive grid. So yeah, they've already made huge progress, and I'm sure we'll see more of that.
Ease of use, yeah.
See, this is what happens when you put smart people in a country with great beer. You get really cool software out the other end, man. It's fun.
Cheers.
Heidi, thank you so much. It's just, at this time of the morning, maybe.
Yeah.
For a beer. Great new tools in 2D. great new product owner for BricsCAD, Heidi Hewitt. We're so happy you're here.
I'm so excited about it.
It's going to be so much fun. The rest of this year and next year are going to be insane, right? And guys, calls to action for our viewers. Matt, what is it you say every week?
Like us on Facebook, add comments to win a mug.
Best comment wins. In fact, the best comments, because we have a couple extra mugs.
Yep, that's true. And then also too, for next week, you guys, we're having Robert Green back. He's going to go talking about switching to BricsCAD. And so we're going to go in full in depth on that. And we're actually going to have him on 3 shows in a row. So, so Robert Green.
Wall to wall, Robert Green.
Yes.
Maybe we can get him to play a song for us, too.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That's a good idea. I'm writing that.
Oh, good. Write it down. Write it down. Yes, what's your takeaway?
Well, you caught me off guard. Make sure. Well, and let us know what kind of things you want to see. We've got a lot of content coming up in this year, and there's we sort of scheduled out the next couple weeks, but we're always looking for ideas. Please help us. Let us know what you like, what you want to see. Ask us lots of questions. We're here for you. So, yeah.
Heidi?
Don't believe what I just showed you. Download and try it yourself. Don't believe me. I might be lying, so download and try it.
Nice. She could actually be in marketing. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for your time and your patience with Don talking so much. Heidi didn't red card me today, so I guess. And we'll catch you next week. Thank you.
See you all. Bye. Okay, hold on, you guys. Are we off?
No, we're still recording.
You still see the suit.